Good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep and welcome to this new session today, which we are having on NMAT, a strategy based session. That's what we are going to discuss in our today's class. So, before I start, can I just get a confirmation from your side? Is everything fine? Everything okay? Hi, Varun Rangnathan. Good afternoon. Hi, Priya Nahak. Good afternoon. I'm good, Varun. How are you? Good afternoon, everyone. So, can you all please confirm it to me once? Is everything fine? Am I audible and visible to you? J47069. Oh, looks like some James Bond kind of name. Hi, hello. Yes, nowadays somehow I'm taking some lesser number of sessions because of some other assignments. Hi, Ankit Maurya. Good afternoon. Hi, Ayushi. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, guys. So, welcome to this session now. Hi, Ishan Surana. So let's start with our session. What are we going to talk about in this session? As you already know, this is about the 30 days short strategy for NMAT 2022. So the first exam of the season, right? It is there now. So very soon we are going to have this NMAT exam on 10th of October. So approximately 30 days are left. So what should we do? And what about this exam? What all things are there to be taken care of? That all I will be discussing in our session today. Okay. So I think we can start with that. Priya has a question. UBS college is good for MBA. Yes, it's a good college, Priya. If I am sure you are talking about University Business School, which is affiliated by Chandigarh University, then it is a pretty good college. It has a good reputation, right? So, but definitely a good college for sure. Okay, ji. So I think we can start with our session now without any further delay. So first thing first, let's first talk about the exam. So what exactly is there in the exam, right? What all things are there? What do they ask you? What all things they can ask you? I mean, what kind of questions are there? How many questions are there? So let's start with that first of all. As you can see on the screen, so this time in our NMAT exam, which is going to be there of a total of 2 hours, we have three sections. One is language skills, quantitative skills, logical reasoning. These three sections are there. You have 36 questions in each of these sections. Previously, it was not the case. पहले कई बार ऐसा भी होता था ऐसा कई बार क्या मतलब हमेशा ही होता था नारसी मोहन जी 48 क्वेश्चंस होते थे क्वांट में 40 क्वेश्चंस होते थे रीजनिंग में 32 होते थे वर्बल एबिलिटी में so this time that has changed it is 36 questions in each of the three sections but the timing is different as you can see on your screen 28 minutes for the language skills section 52 minutes for quantitative skills and 40 minutes for logical reasoning and that makes the total as 120 minutes. So 108 questions are there for a total of 120 minutes and the score range is 12 to 120. That means minimum possible score is 12, maximum possible score is 120. Now there you might have a question in your mind, sir, how 12 to 120? That even I don't know, probably what I feel that if each question is of 3 marks, then minimum a person can score is 0, maximum a person can score is 108. When you go from 0 to 108, 0 plus 12 is minimum 12, 108 plus 12 is maximum 120. So probably they are giving you a score of 12 straight away. After that, whatever you are going to score, that is going to be added, right? So that makes some sense. But of course, that would not be the scenario. You would be having some, this what do we call it normalization as well because there are different slots so different slots will have different difficulty level according to that it would be decided right so a few things I have written on the screen it will be held over multiple days I mean you all would be knowing about it it can be taken thrice though the retakes can be taken after 10th of October that is after the first exam it is adaptive in nature this is a big change this year in NMAT and the order of the sections can be chosen. So it is not like the CAT exam where you have first section, second section, third section predefined by them. Here you can decide that which one you want to do first, which one you want to go for second, and which one you want to go for third. So this is the NMAT exam that is going to be this year. So I see some questions, sir. I'm preparing for GRE. I have the exam next month. Will it help in NMAT? Not completely, but a little bit, I would say. Sir, NMIMS Mumbai is accepting only one attempt this year. Ishan, I don't think so. I have not seen that anywhere. Yes, last year it was the scenario, but this year they have not written it at any point. So I do not think that they're going to take only one attempt. Probably they'll take best of the three. Sir, I'm in third year student and my second year is not out yet. Sir, what should I do? Can I apply for CAT? Please tell. Yes, you can apply. You just have to write the scores, whatever you have got till now. So even if the second year results are not out, that's not a problem. You have to put in the results up to first year. Sir, kindly discuss cutoff for NMIMS Mumbai, Bangalore and KJ as well. Gautam, I'll try that in the later part of this session. Do you suggest taking home proctored exam or does it have more hassles? I think I would suggest that take an exam at the center itself, because of course there might be problems at the home proctored exam, and moreover you are always at the radar that probably you are doing some kind of cheating or something. So even if, let us say, your internet goes in between or the camera stops working, any technical issue, so it might be taken as if the person has deliberately done that. So I would always suggest that just go to the center and take it. I think that will be better. Let's move on. So आगे बढ़ते हैं इससे. The next thing is that some of the changes, as I told you, they check your score. You can check your score right after the exam. That was not the case before. So now the moment you write your exam, you will get your score, but that score would be exactly the score of that particular test that you have taken. But the scorecard will be in 48 hours. What does that mean? That scorecard would be the normalized score, right? So let us say you have done 20 questions correct. They would immediately say, see, your score is 60. But then after 48 hours would tell you that this exam that you have written, it was more difficult than the other exams. So your scorecard says your score is 71. Or it might be, let's say, 49, 48. So that way, scorecard would tell you the normalized score, but your exact score would be given after the exam, which will tell you how many right, how many wrong you have done. The level of difficulty changes. Now, this is one point I don't know how many of you know about this. That when we say that the exam is going to be adaptive this year, what do we mean by adaptive? Adaptive means level of difficulty would change with respect to your answer for a particular question. For example, in one question, you answer something and that answer is, let us say, correct. If your answer is correct, the next question is going to be more difficult. If that answer is also correct, the next is going to be again more difficult. Similarly, the next one is wrong. Let's say the next question is going to be easy. So they are just going to check this. This is what an adaptive paper is. This is what they do in GMAT as well. So what does an adaptive paper do? An adaptive paper actually tells you that your level of difficulty would keep changing and they would check to which level you have reached, right? Where could you go? That's what an adaptive paper is. So I'm sure that you would have got an idea about this, that what is an adaptive paper, right? So this year the exam is going to be adaptive. So is it going to impact you? Some of you might feel that it is going to negatively impact me. Some of you might feel it is going to positively impact me. I would always feel this is a right way of asking the questions. In my opinion, actually the exam should be like that only. It should be adaptive in nature. It is always better, right? Adaptive ही होना चाहिए exam. So that is the right way of checking whether a person knows something or not, because possibly in the exam कुछ ऐसे easy questions होते हैं जो भी मैं गलत कर रहा था और difficult questions होते हैं जो मैं ठीक कर रहा था हूँ by fluke or by something. So when that is checked thrice or 4 times or 5 times, that exactly tell you that if every time you are doing an easy question wrong, that means there is some problem in your concepts, right? If every time you are doing a difficult question right, that means you are a good student. So therefore, I think adaptive is a better way of checking that, in my opinion. That is going to be the exam this year as well. Okay. Now, a few more things. Why should a person take NMAT? Of course, there is no negative marking. I mean, with respect to CAT, I would say in CAT there is a negative marking. Here there is a non-negative marking. If I talk about CAT 2021, 20 or before that as well, almost every year, all three sections have not been of equal weight. Slightly, I mean, here or there are there. Because last year language was of 24 questions, Quant had 22, LRDI had 20. Similarly, year before that they were 26, 24, 26. Year before that they were 34, 32, 34. But here you have all three sections with equal weightage. It is not a speed test. As I said, it is an adaptive paper. So speed is not what that matters. I mean, it does, but not the primary factor, I would say. You can choose your section order. This is a very important point, because for a person who's probably not good at verbal ability, he might want to start with an area in which he's more comfortable. So he can start with that area. You are more comfortable with quant, you can start with quant. You are more comfortable with LR, you can start with LR. That is the best part of it. There are 3 attempts to improve your score, which again is a big relief, I would say. In CAT, you have one single day. You are writing the exam. Anything goes wrong, your day is completely ruined. Your probably complete year is ruined because you can't do anything about it. That is the best part about NMAT. So possibly on one day you are not at the best of your mood, you are not at the best of your wisdom as well, and you are not able to score well on that day. So you have 2 more options to apply for it. That is the best part probably that you can do over here, with of course some cost that you have to pay, some around 2800 or something. But for a person, if you ask him, you have 2 options: either the whole year would be ruined, or you have another attempt at 2800 rupees. He would always say, okay, I'll give another attempt. Next thing, online proctored, you can write it at home as well, though I don't know how many of you would like it. So this is completely a personal choice. My personal choice is that I would suggest that you should not be writing at home. Write it at the center, so that if there is anything that goes wrong, at least you would not be held responsible for that. Moreover, I don't know how many of you know about this last point on the screen, that NMAT is scored by, accepted by some international colleges as well, from South Africa, Philippines, Nigeria, Morocco and all, right? So of course those colleges might not be some Ivy League colleges, but definitely there would be some decent colleges among them. So it is also accepted there if anyone wants to go into these areas. Okay. Next thing next. So when I talk about the syllabus, so here again you will find something different from CAT. We all know CAT is purely a reading based exam, right? Who does not know about it? That CAT is a purely reading based exam. Whatever you have in CAT verbal ability, it is reading comprehension, reading based, para jumbles reading based, para completion reading based, odd one out reading based. So everything is reading based here. Okay. But here when we talk about NMAT, you have vocabulary, you have grammar, you have comprehension. Vocabulary has synonyms, antonyms based question, analogies, fill in the blanks, close test, idioms. They all would be there in your NMAT exam. Grammar based questions would be like identify the error, choose the correct one, preposition, sentence correction and all, they all would be there. And yes, RC will also be there, which is based upon reading. So you have para jumbles here too, you have odd one out, paragraph summary as well. So that all is a part of this. So NMAT is, I would say, a holistic paper as far as verbal ability is concerned. They ask you questions from almost all the areas, whatever you talk about. So you talk about RC, you talk about grammar, you talk about vocabulary, almost from every area you have questions in NMAT. That's about verbal ability first of all. Then, when I talk about logical reasoning, once again you will have questions which are not there in CAT, but yes, you must have seen these kind of questions in Maharashtra CET, you must have seen these kind of questions in CMAT or MAT or TISNET. So in all these exams you have these kind of questions. They are generally divided into 2 parts. One is verbal reasoning, which has questions on statements and assumptions, or illicit statement, explicit statement, those kind of questions, course of action kind of question, right? And assertion reasoning based questions, statement inference based questions. These are all a part of verbal reasoning. Plus, analytical reasoning is something which we popularly know as logical reasoning, I would say. So arrangement based questions, blood relations, directions, coding, decoding, input, output, series based questions, metric based questions. These are all those kind of questions they would come up in the part of analytical reasoning. So once again, you would see it has a big syllabus for reasoning as well, right? Lot many things are asked from reasoning, because on those 36 questions, you will have questions from verbal reasoning as well as analytical reasoning, which is the best part of it. So Varun has a question, does NMAT also ask some CAT questions for quant and LRDI? Varun, in past this has happened sometimes, that some questions, very few number of times, some questions have come up from previous year CAT papers as well. And this happened this year in Maharashtra CET as well, right? In Maharashtra CET we saw actual questions from CAT. So that might happen in NMAT as well. We can't say it's not going to happen. Gautam is asking, sir, during form filling, we had to select 5 colleges for free and then for rest we needed to pay. Is it necessary to apply there, or we can apply individually on the different college site? So you can just tick over there, Gautam Chauhan, that's not a problem. So 5 colleges for free means your scorecard would be sent to those 5 colleges for free. If there is any other college, then you have to pay for that. That is the point. Otherwise, even for those colleges, you have to fill up their form separately. So keep that in mind. So individually for all the colleges, you have to fill up the form. The 5 colleges which are for free, to them, your scorecard would be sent for free. Okay. Then comes the third section, which is quantitative ability, and just like all other papers, probably in MBA entrance examinations, maximum number of questions are from arithmetic, followed by, I think, not algebra, followed by it can be geometry or number system. Though you can't be sure about it that on which area they would be asking you more questions, but one thing is for sure, maximum questions would be from arithmetic, though algebra would not be much in NMAT exams. So there can be more questions from geometry or numbers with respect to algebra. That's my opinion. And yes, you have DI as a part of quant only, because as you said, as you saw, that the verbal reasoning was a part of your logical reasoning section. Similarly here, DI is a part of quant. Okay. So where from should we practice? So Shambhavi, I mean, of course, for the free sources, I would say try internet if you can find anything. Otherwise, you have to join some of the institutes, and try joining some institute which can only give you NMAT mocks. If you don't want to do the complete course, you can only go for the mock series of NMAT. Even that would work for you, in my opinion. Okay. Now, someone was asking for the cutoffs, that what are the cutoffs? So these are the cutoffs for NMIMS campus. For NMIMS Mumbai, the cutoff is 232. The cutoff percentile is 98.99, and the total fee of the course is 20.8 lakhs. For NMIMS Bangalore, it is 224, with the which is a percentile like around 91, 94, and for Hyderabad, it is around 200. Now 232 means how many questions? So we don't know how many questions are there, but in my opinion, again, my experience says a score of, right attempts of 75 to 80 will take you to NMIMS. That's, I think, my take on this, right? So above 75, if you have done, so you are almost sure that you will get into this. Similarly, for NMIMS Bangalore, probably 70 can be a good number. And for Hyderabad, you can look for something like 60 or 65K beach mein. So these are the numbers which can probably take you there. There is no negative marking. So of course, the number of right attempts is important for us. So you have to do all the 120 questions. You get more than 75 correct, you are through, right, to NMIMS Mumbai. And the chances are bright that you can convert it as well, because the number of seats in NMIMS is huge, right? So I think considering all of their campuses, the total number of seats is somewhere around 1800, 1900. NMIMS Mumbai alone has around 600 seats, right? So the number of seats is quite high. So the chances are also bright. And they call a lot many people for their second stage as well. That's also important. Okay. But yes, there is a sectional cutoff as well that also have to be kept in mind, because in NMIMS, that sectional cutoff is also quite high, right? There are colleges like IIFT, where overall cutoff would be like 40, but sectional would be like 3, 4, 5, aisa karke. But here, their overall cutoff is very close to some of their sectional cutoffs. So almost, I mean, you can keep it in mind that you have to perform equally in all the 3 sections to get a call from NMIMS, any of the campuses. You can see NMIMS Mumbai, 70 is in quantitative aptitude, 76 over here, 71 over here. These 3 add up to 217, and your overall cutoff is 232, right? So there is just a difference of 15 more after that. So that tells you that you can't get a call from NMIMS just by scoring very well in 1 or 2 sections. If you want to get a call, probably you have to do well in all the 3 sections. This is something important that you have to keep in mind. Okay. So I'm sure that all of you are getting my point. This point is clear to all of you. If you have any question, please do tell me. And now we come to the most important part of our today's session, that is, what should be the strategy for these 30 days now? Okay. We know that, okay, what is the syllabus? We know that, okay, it is going to be an adaptive exam. We know that what all negative marking is not there, how many questions I have to attempt. The point is how much, how should I prepare for it? So Gautam has a question, sir, is NMIMS Bangalore worth with respect to ROI? Gautam, I would say it is okay, right? I would not say it is worth it or not. I mean, it depends on a student's profile. For example, you are appearing for CAT and you are not getting even 50-60 percentile. That guy gets NMIMS Bangalore. I would say that probably worth it for that person, right? Now, with respect to ROI, I would say it's an okay college. I would not rate it very high, but it's a personal choice from the person. But yes, of course, Mumbai is definitely worth joining. There is no doubt about it. Okay. So let's talk about the strategy. What should you be doing in these coming days now? Let's start talking about it. First of all, नो द पेपर पैटर्न. हालांकि हम लोगों ने पढ़ लिया है अभी कि अच्छा पेपर में क्या क्या आता है, व्हाट इज द पैटर्न ऑफ द पेपर, बट द पॉइंट इज यू शुड नो, लुकिंग एट द पेपर पैटर्न, कि मुझे क्या सूट करता है और क्या नहीं. What are the areas in which I am good? What are the areas in which I am bad? Now that is also something that you have to look at. You have to understand your strengths and weaknesses which are there, right? So that you can divide your topics according to that. Okay, that I am good in this area, so I will start with that. Not that good in this area, so I will probably do it in the middle of the session, or I will probably do it at the end of the session. So all that you would be able to understand only by knowing the paper pattern. So just go to internet, find out some previous year papers of Narsi Munji, NMAT exam, and try to find out what is the paper pattern. There is one another way through which you can do it. Because this exam is being conducted by GMAT, which is also the conducting authority for GMAT, they give you an official guide, OG, which is popularly known as. OG is very popularly known among the students who are preparing for GMAT. It's not much known in, NMAT era. So NMAT people would also be getting an official guide. Official guide is basically a kind of complete book of your exam, right? Whatever is going to be there in your exam, that all would be there in that book, not the questions. Syllabus would be there, that okay, from which all things they would be asking. There would be some theory as well, there would be some sample papers as well. So you can do it from there to get an idea about the exam. That is the first thing. Second, have an ironclad strategy in place. Ironclad means strong strategy, that yes, I am going to use this strategy for the exam. I can't change my strategy at the time of the exam, looking at that, no, today I'm going to take. The chances of having any surprise in NMAT are pretty less, very less. So whatever strategy you can make outside the exam, you can probably stick to the same strategy in the exam time as well, because everything is already known to us. We know how many questions are going to be there. We know that negative marking is not there. We know that adaptive is the nature of the paper. So all those things are known to us. So probably we can always make a proper strategy before the exam, that yes, first of all, I'll choose the order of my sections. I'll start with this section, then this section, then this section. So you can always make that strategy beforehand. Plus, in that particular section, which kind of questions I'm going to start with, which are the questions which I should be doing later on. So just go with that strategy, and you can always make that, and you can work on it, because there are not going to be any surprises in your exam. Third thing, know your weak areas. As I've told you that your strengths and weakness are extremely important. You must be knowing that these are the areas from which I am never able to do the question, right? It is a 120 minutes paper. So in a 120 minutes paper, I can probably not spend a lot of time on choosing the questions, or trying the weak area questions as well, that though I am weak at this area, but let's just try this one. No, 120 minutes are not sufficient for that, right? And the time that is given to you for doing these questions, I do not think we can, choose there that which questions I would do, which questions I would not do. So I would always suggest that beforehand you should be knowing that what are your weak or strong areas, and accordingly you should move ahead in the exam. Also, solving the past year papers is definitely going to help you, because not only it will tell you that what kind of questions are going to appear, what is the difficulty level of the questions, from which area we have the questions, what is the flavor of the questions, so that you would get to know from those exams only. So when I say that DI would be a part of one, but by saying this, would you know that what kind of DI would be there, right? Would it be CAT type DI? Would it be ZAT type DI, or IFT type DI, or MAT type, or Maharashtra CT type, or CMAT type? So once you go through that, only then you would be able to understand that, okay, these are the kind of questions. Plus, you will also get to know that how many easy questions they ask you, how many difficult questions they ask you, how many moderate questions they ask you. You will get an idea about that as well. So one must always do previous year papers, not only to get an idea about the exam, but also to get the flavor of it, that what are they checking in a student, what are the common mistakes that people would not have to make. Okay. These are some of the things that you have to start with. Next, refer to the GMAT official guide. As I told you that everything would be mentioned in that guide only. So the official guide would be available to you on the website itself, on GMAT website. Just download it from there, and it is not for GMAT. So for NMAT there would be a separate official guide. Just download that and you can work on that. And second thing, mocks. We have been telling this from day one to each and every one. Mocks are extremely important for all of you for an exam like NMAT, where I said a proper strategy can always work, right? Where we know what is going to be the pattern, you can make a very good strategy, but that strategy would be made on the basis of the mocks that you would be doing before that. On the basis of every such mock, you would know that okay, this is to be done, this is not to be done, this is not going in my favor, this is hampering my performances. So all those things can be prepared before the exam. In these 30 days, do that. Write a lot many mocks. Try to write at least 2 mocks every week. So you will have by the exam at least 9-10 mocks you would have written. In the first 5-6 mocks, try different strategies. In the last 3-4 mocks, try to check that which strategy is suiting you the most. Go with that strategy in the exam. That is the most important part of it. Okay. So, sir, your MHCET lectures helped a lot in exam. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, JB. But I think even if you've written it once, I would have understood it. I think you wrote the message 5 times. Okay, everyone, let's move on from here. Now I'm going to talk about the strategy section wise. Till now we talked about as a whole. I mean, paper कैसे चलता है, उसके बारे में क्या करना है. Now we are talking about a section wise strategy. What is to be done in verbal ability, what is to be done in logical reasoning, what is to be done in quantitative ability, उसके बारे में हम लोग अब एक एक करके बात करेंगे. So there aren't any available NMAT slots if one registers now. Should I register? Will new slots open? Himanshu, yes, in past it has happened that they keep opening the new slots as well. So I think you can keep checking if the slots are available to you, right? There would be the slots available very soon. They keep opening the slots after some time. Let's move on. So when I talk about language skills, as I said, reading is the most important part because approximately half of the section is of course reading only. The remaining half would be vocabulary and grammar. So you have to do a lot of reading. In these coming days as well, you can do that. Though you might be doing that for CAT already, but apart from that, you also have to do a SWOT analysis. Where are you strong? Where are you weak? Because now verbal is not limited to reading only. There are so many things. Are you good at vocabulary? Are you good at grammar? And within vocabulary, you are good at antonyms, synonyms, or you are good at close test, or you are good at something else. Similarly, when you talk about grammar, are you good at sentence correction? Are you good at fill in the blanks or what? So basically, all those things that you have to pay attention to, that where are you good? Where are you not good? Get that analysis for you. So till now you were in a cat, I would say color. I would say that along with that cat color, try to work for NMAT as well, working on this vocabulary and grammar because these are going to be there in your exam. Practice mocks, I have been telling you since day one, ये तो करना ही करना है. And the most important point according to me is enhance your vocabulary. Why am I saying that enhance your vocabulary? Because there probably vocabulary पे you would not have paid a lot of attention. CAT में नहीं आता तो क्यों करना है vocabulary? हो सकता है you would not have studied vocabulary till now. You must be paying a lot of attention to reading, reading, reading. But now you have questions which are based upon vocabulary as well. So this is the time where you start working on your vocabulary, right? And this is something that can be worked. I mean, in the coming days, आप antonyms synonyms पढ़िए कम से कम 500-600 antonyms synonyms आप पढ़ सकते हैं in the coming days. So possibly, who knows, उनमें से कोई words आ जाए. That's quite a possibility. And these are the words. If you remember them, you can get an answer within 5 seconds. That is the best part of it, right? In a quant question, you have to solve it completely. LRDA, you have to solve it completely. Lekin, when it's a vocabulary question, either you know it or you don't know it, right? So if you have a good vocabulary, probably you can do 7-8 questions within a minute. That's a possibility. So that is the best part of it. So in the coming days, start working on your vocabulary as well because this is going to be there in your exam. So you have to work on that. Second, when I talk about quantitative aptitude, as I already told you, that it is going to be a 120 minutes paper. You have 36 questions in quant and there are approximately 50 minutes or 52 minutes for quantitative section. That makes it slightly, speed based as well. I told you earlier as well, Primarily speed is not important here, but yes, speed is important because it is not like a ZET exam where you have a lot of time and very less number of questions. So speed to improvement lani padegi aapko, that's important. Brush up your 10th and 12th maths fundamentals. I would not say much of 12th. 12th मैंने यहाँ इसलिए लिखा because PNC पे कई बार काफी questions पूछ लेते हैं NMAT वाले. So some of the areas which are from 12th, you can just check them from there, and from OG as well you will get an idea what all topics we can expect from 12th class. Focus more on topics like geometry, profit loss, speed, distance. ये मैंने कुछ वो areas लिखे हैं on which maximum number of questions have been there in the last few years in NMAT. So these are the areas on which they are asking you a lot many questions. So have a little bit more focus on these. Right topic test, because when you have three sections separately, I think you can also look it as three sectional tests. ठीक है, तो एक सेक्शनल टेस्ट मेरे पास क्वांट का 52 मिनट्स का है. कोशिश कीजिए खूब सारे टेस्ट 52 मिनट्स के आप क्वांट के लिखते रहे, so that you get an idea from that what is your strength, what is your weakness. Practice with the mocks, that is also very important. मॉक्स तो आपको हर जगह काम आने ही आने हैं, that's very very important for all. And finally, when I talk about logical reasoning, in logical reasoning focus on pictorial representation of data because these kind of questions are going to be there in your exam. Secondly, start timing yourself because LR questions, sometimes there are sets of 5 or 6 questions and you are spending a lot of time on that, you are not able to solve it. That can completely ruin your paper immediately. And as I said here, the sectional cutoffs are pretty high. So one section goes bad, everything goes bad. However good you score in the exam, it is going to completely screw you. Take your time and practice every day. That has to be done by each and everyone, right? So every day, take a lot of time and practice. LR is anyways purely practice based. You just don't have to do anything about it. Just work on it every single day and pay special attention to words like these. Why? So in analytical reasoning as well as in verbal reasoning, syllogism based question and the other deductions based questions, you will have to pay a lot of attention to these words like all, some, none, only, if only, other than, unless. These all are those kind of words. These are used a lot many times in questions of logical reasoning in NMAT. And try to eliminate the deceiving options. Choose the one you would eventually arrive at. That means working with the options is also important. You also have to understand that, right? So in totality, I would say logical reasoning is the section in which you have to do a lot of practice. Quantitative ability is a section in which you have to work on a lot of concepts. And verbal abilities where probably the most important area for you would be vocabulary and grammar, because anyways you are working on reading for a very long time. These two areas which you are not working on, they are going to be their exam now. So please work on those areas as well. Okay. So that was all from my side, guys, for CAT 2022. If anyone is preparing, so we recently started our last batch for that, which is the crash course. This all is available in that course, and we are also available on all these media handles. You can find us there, right? And do press the like button, comment on this session, subscribe to BYJU'S exam prep channel. These are the media handles where we are there. And that's all from my side, guys. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I would be happy to take the questions. Otherwise, we will close the session there. Anyone, any questions, anything that you want to ask, guys? Because I am pretty sure at this age, you might be having butterflies in your stomach that, okay, exam is very close. On 10th of October, we have the exam, only 1 month is left. और ये जनरली तो हम लोगों की पहले से ही आदत रही है ना, जब एग्जाम सर पे आ जाता है, then we start studying. So this is the high time when you will be having this tension कि सर अब क्या करें, एग्जाम तो सर पे आ गया है, how would we study for this exam? So this definitely might be a question with many of you. Any such question is there? If no question, I don't think there is any question, so I think we can close the session now. That was all for today, guys. Thank you very much. We'll meet soon with the next session then. Till then, bye bye and take care and have a good day, guys. Bye bye.